Brakata Yahawah, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahawah, Brakata Yahushai, Shalawam, call Akim. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, from whom I learned this truth from. Peace and blessings to the sincere Akim, the hopeful elect that's doing this work in sincerity and truth. This video is going to be titled "This Truth Is Our Woman." Okay, and I'm going to start out with 1 Corinthians 7:1. It says, "Now concerning the things wherefore ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman." Okay, Apostle Paul was giving advice to the men of the church of Corinth to not deal with women, right? Because I'm going to jump down to verse 6. I recommend you read this whole chapter. For time's sake, I'm just going to read points. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 7:6. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment, meaning this is just advice. It's not against the law to deal with women. Verse 7, it says, "For I would that all men were even as myself, but every man hath his proper gift of the Most High, one after this manner, and another after that." Apostle Paul said, "For I would that all men were even as myself," meaning he didn't deal with women. So he wished that all men were like him, but he knew that not all men were going to have that spirit. To have that spirit is a gift from the Lord. All right. Jump down to verse 27. It says, "Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife." So whatever circumstance you're in, if you have a woman and she's pleased to deal with, seek not to be loose. Continue to deal with her. It says, "If art thou loose from a wife, seek not a wife." So if you're not dealing with a woman right now, if the Lord has that to be your lot, seek not to have a woman. Okay, verse 28 says, and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you." So Apostle Paul is telling you, you can have a woman, you can deal with a woman. You're not going against the laws. You're not going to lose your salvation over it unless you're not part of the elect. But he's saying you're going to have trouble in the flesh. She might give you hell every time you try to go out on Saturdays, or nag you all the time talking about cutting down your beard or shaving it off, things like that. Verse 29, this is the point though. It says, "But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none." So even if you do have a woman, the time and season that we're in right now is as though you don't have a woman. All right. This is Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, "To everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under the sun, under the heaven." So let me read that again. Ecclesiastes 3:1. "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." So right now in this current season, your mind isn't to be all focused and caught up into a woman carnally, physically. You're supposed to be caught up in the spiritual woman, which is wisdom. This is Proverbs 1:20. It says, "Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets." And that scripture alone, you could keep reading, but just wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Comparing wisdom to being a female. You know, this is Sirach, the 6th chapter. It says, starting at verse 18, it says, Sirach 5, Sirach. Sirach 6, here we go. Sirach 6, 18, it says, my son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. Alright? The Lord's talking about wisdom. It says, come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. So it's saying, the scriptures are saying, labor in the scriptures, read daily, study, watch videos, labor, because sooner than later, you're gonna reap of her fruits. What are her fruits? You're gonna know more breakdowns. You're gonna be able to edify more akim. You're gonna be able to wake up more of the elect, help seal the Lord's elect. You're gonna have more precepts in your head that you can recall, right? Verse 20, it says, she, which is just, it's continuing that wisdom is a woman, all right? Wisdom is a woman. You gotta keep that in your mind. This is your number one woman. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. So the unwise, 2/3, is gonna cast wisdom away from them. They're gonna fall off from this truth, or they're gonna ignore it because it says wisdom crieth without. It says wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voices in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of conference, in the opening of the gates in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Sirach 6 says that the unlearned, she is very unpleasant to the unlearned. So when we preach this word, this wisdom, this beautiful woman out to the world, the unlearned is going to walk by. They're going to ignore it. They're going to reject it. They're not going to listen to it. The unlearned that sneak their way into this truth, they're going to fall out eventually. They're going to be lukewarm. They're going to fall out. They're going to lose the faith. In actuality, never had it. It says she will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. This beautiful woman called wisdom is only given to the elect, the 144,000, the elect men of the nation of Israel. Verse 23, it says, give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain. It's going back into laboring for her, and it might be burdensome at times, but you gotta bear it. It says, bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. When thou hast got hold of her, let her not go. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned to thy joy. So, being diligent in this truth, you're going to receive salvation. Comparing these scriptures and meditating these scriptures and thinking of these scriptures as a comely and delicate woman, and constantly getting into her like a woman, that's gonna turn into salvation. The Lord's gonna deliver you. We're gonna be in rest and joy. We're gonna be in paradise. It says, then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. What does it say? Isaiah 33. Isaiah 33 and 6, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. It says, then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. When all hell breaks loose, we're going to be good. And in the kingdom, we're going to be wearing royal robes. We're going to be kings. We're going to have ultimate glory. We're going to shine as the firmament of heaven. Verse 30, it says, for there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are purple lace, representing royalty again. Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor, shalt put her about thee as a crown of joy. Alright, now I'm going to jump to Proverbs the 5th chapter, starting at verse 1. It says, my son, attend unto wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. So this chapter is talking about wisdom, and then it goes into analogies and metaphors, because it's the book of Proverbs. All right, verse 3, it says, for the lip of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. So a strange woman, the scriptures are manifold, but this is really talking about other philosophies and doctrines outside of the scriptures. It's like a strange woman. It says, but her end, verse 3, but the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. Man, this is crazy. I experienced this in real life. All right, an actual woman, a demon. Okay. It says, for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But this is talking about, other philosophies of the world, witchcraft, astrology, whatever it may be, But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. So the only thing that brings forth life is the scriptures. This woman, any other woman, brings forth death. Abstain from her, flee from her, Akim. This is, I'm going to jump down to verse 18. It says, let thy, you know what? I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with thy wife of thy youth. Now it's comparing wisdom unto thy wife. Rejoice with her. It says, rejoice with the wife of thy youth. What you learned from the beginning, because the scriptures say, raise up a child in the way he shall go, and he shall not depart from it. Bring him into the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of YAHAWAH and Yasha, and he shall not depart from it. It says, rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Verse 19, let her be as the loving hind in pleasant roe. Let her breasts satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. That's talking about this truth, man. These scriptures is a woman with beautiful, voluptuous breasts, perfect body, perfect curvature. Whatever you like, that's what this is what these scriptures are. And you're supposed to get into it. As a man, you're a husband. And what does that mean? It means to plant. You're supposed to get into a woman. The way you're supposed to get into a woman is the same way you're supposed to get into these scriptures. You're supposed to look up words, read, study, meditate upon it. What can you do to please this woman? Because ultimately, wisdom and YAHAWASHI is synonymous, you know? So what can you do to please YAHAWASHI? Um, I'm gonna read Proverbs 8th chapter. This chapter is really good. It's Proverbs 8:1. It says, "Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men." Hey, this beautiful woman is calling the elect men out of the nation of Israel. You know, she's for us. Wisdom is for us, man. It's a blessing. It says, "O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things. The opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips." Wickedness is an abomination to my lips. Man, if you hold fast to wisdom, it keeps you safe. It protects you from your own vile flesh that easily goes off. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. That's another thing. Wisdom is simple and plain. Wickedness is complex and confusing, but wisdom is simple and plain. When you get into these scriptures and you make decisions according to these scriptures, it's plain. You get out of adverse situations with plain decision making. Uh, Verse 10, it says, "Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it." What did Solomon pray for? He prayed for wisdom, and everything was added unto him. The elect of the nation of Israel right now are being brought up in the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of YAHAWASHI, and soon they're going to inherit all things. It says wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with the prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. Fear the Lord is to hate evil. Pride and arrogancy and the evil way and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. We're about to become kings and priests. And in order to be a king, we need this wisdom. We need this woman. We gotta be ravished with this woman. It says, "I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me." And that's what the elect is doing right now. We're seeking after wisdom right now. Verse 18, "Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness." We're about to receive riches. We're beyond rich. The wealth that we have is beyond belief. Psalms 37 real quick. Ready? This is Psalms 37 and 16. It says, "A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked." Because right now, in this temporal state, brothers might be struggling to pay different bills. They might not have money to get food, all the different types of food that they want. They might have to just eat sandwiches all the time, or they might not have money to buy clothes. They might be wearing the same clothes all the time. That's nothing. It says, "A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked." The little that we have is better than the riches that the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the trillions of dollars of wealth that they have. The little that we have is greater than that. Because what the Lord's about to get us is far beyond what the Lord gave them. The Lord hates the wicked, and he gave them that. How much more is the Lord going to give the righteous? All right, let's continue here. It says, my fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. That's why it's crucial to look at this truth as a woman. Love her and get into her, because it says that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Verse 22, it says, the Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from beginning, ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was, I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree, that the water should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Wisdom was before all things. Now this is bringing it all together, because ultimately, wisdom is YAHAWASHI. And this is talking about YAHAWASHI. He was from the beginning. It says, rejoicing, and he was daily the Most High's delight. It says, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children. That's talking about the elect. For blessed are they that keep my ways. Who are the only ones that are going to keep the Lord's ways? The elect. Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Hear the instruction of the Lord. The Lord speaks to us through the men of the Lord. The Lord speaks to us through these scriptures. Hear the instruction and refuse it not. It says, blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Everything outside this truth brings forth death. If you hate these scriptures, you're going to be destroyed. Proverbs 13:13. Whosoever despises the word will be destroyed. These scriptures bring forth life. It says, for whoso findeth me findeth life. We're in this dead world. Everything that surrounds us brings forth death. The food is killing us. The air is killing us. The clothes that we wear is killing us. The only way for salvation out of this dead state is these scriptures. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. YAHAWAH. What's greater than favor of the Lord? There's nothing greater than to be in good graces with the Lord. So I exhort you, Akim, to seek this truth first and look at it as a calmly and delicate woman. Call halal YAHAWAH bahasham Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and Shalawam to the elect. Shalawam.